Hello and welcome to Health Professional Radio. I'm your host, Neal Howard. Thank you so much for joining us today. Our guest in studio today is Mr. Shawn Wing, owner and CEO of Defined Fitness, personal training company located in Georgetown, Kentucky. He's here with us today also as a rehabilitative manager associated with Georgetown Family Chiropractic, also in Georgetown, Kentucky. Earned his degree in exercise science from Morehead State University. How are you doing today, Shawn?
I'm doing wonderful, Neal. Thank you so much for having me on the show.
Hey, not a problem. Glad that you could give us some of your time. Morehead State University in Kentucky. Talk a little bit about the degree that you earned there and, some of the things that got you interested in healthcare.
Well, it kind of started a little bit, like I said, a little earlier through high school. I had a gym teacher who really kind of focused a lot and preached a lot on the health, fitness, and being active and doing extreme sports as a young kid. I was always, just very active, very interested in sports, stuff like that. So, as that kind of progressed onto my later years, college, I kind of went there and didn't really know exactly what I want to do. I knew I really enjoyed fitness and I really enjoyed staying active. So I thought, why not? Let's major in exercise science, health, wellness, and human performance, and kind of see where it takes me. And really enjoyed, the first couple years, even though those are basic gen eds, you got a couple, 2 or 3 classes that actually kind of introduce you to the major and the sports science aspect of it. So I really enjoyed that. And, I really want to get my hands on more. So from there, then after that, I reached out through American College of Sports Medicine, got my certified personal training certification from there, and further developed into my exercise physiologist certification. So that's technically what I really enjoyed doing is more of the science-based stuff, because after all, science is where it's at. It's the facts, that's the hard evidence of how to get results. So that's kind of where it took me and how I got where I am today.
You interesting that you should mention, the science of it all. When it comes down to the science of it, there in the past has been kind of a scientific rift, as it were, for lack of a better term, between the chiropractic and the traditional medicine camps. You have found a way to combine chiropractic and personal training, being owner and CEO of Defined Fitness Personal Training, and also rehabilitative manager with Georgetown Chiropractic. Talk a little bit about, because when we think of chiropractic, we think about getting adjusted. We think maybe a little bit of strength training, maybe some electrostim. But talk about combining chiropractic and the science of personal training.
One of the big things that's really been kind of a blocker for most people is, and even in the health field, is chiropractic and physical therapy have been kind of somewhat disassociated with each other. Physical therapists believe in one way of healing the body. Chiropractic believes in another way. And I'm not a licensed physical therapist, so I can't say too much on that aspect. But what I can say on my behalf is that it is it's greatly beneficial for the patient, from what I've seen, when both of these fields bridge together to overall better help the patient. It's a holistic medicinal approach, so you don't have to worry about any crazy side effects that you've got going on with any of this other medication that a lot of healthcare professionals will try to put out there. So that's one of the things that I really enjoy. Plus, with the adjustments, it naturally will allow you to able to decrease the pressure in between your joints by releasing the gas or the air that's basically built up in between the joints. That little pop that you hear, that is a release of the gas. When you do your adjustments. So that's kind of what's happening. A lot of people are kind of afraid of, oh no, what's going on back there? But that's what that is. So when you release the pressure, release the gas, it allows your musculoskeletal system to breathe a little bit better. The afferent, efferent information is transferred from your central nervous system through your brain, down your body, down your vertebrae, your spinal cord, and out to the organs and stuff that it innervates. From there, once you have that release of information, it's kind of like a sensory overload for your body, because you kind of got to think about, kind of like a bend, let's say, a bend around the corner. You got to slow down a little bit, while you're driving, to make sure you get, through that corner safely, and then you can go ahead and speed up and get through the straightaway. Well, that's kind of what happens with the information that's processed through the body when it hits a joint that has been fixated for so long, and it slows the information down. So when you make joints, a lot more feasible to breathe. The information to be transferred quite a bit better, neurologically, and especially processed better. So that, as far as chiropractic goes, and then with the rehabilitative medicine, that I do with the stretching and the strengthening. Once the patients are out of pain, basically we make sure that they can gain full range of motion through their specific areas of interest or injury, I should say. Once that happens, once they have close to full, if not full range of motion, we begin the strengthening phase. And there's 3 phases in the clinic that we usually use for each area that you have: cervical, thoracic, lumbar, wherever your primary, injury or diagnosis may occur. And then from that point, we work on basically the rehabilitative portion, strengthening up the core, strengthening up the legs, because overall the legs are the building blocks to the body, and stuff like that. So that's kind of a gist of what we focus on in the clinic.
Now, in your experience as a personal trainer and dealing on the chiropractic side as well, do you find that it's, I guess, an easier process with someone who is coming there to maintain what is already an apparently healthy lifestyle, as opposed to someone who's maybe had an injury and is trying to rehabilitate or return to the healthy lifestyle that they once had? The mindset is different. How does the science of it help you in that aspect?
It is, there are 2 different, there's many different, types of patients who we're able to help, but you're able to group them together, and you can kind of tell just by talking to them, the ones who really want to help themselves and the ones who are just there just to get out of the pain, and nothing, I don't mean anything negative by any of that, but there's just different, types of people as there are in the world, and that's fine, that's okay. Some people are there temporarily just to get a quick fix and feel better, and don't have to worry about anything, and others actually want to do a lifestyle change. Kind of like what I was saying a little earlier about when my clients come to me, I tell them that this is not going to be something that's going to be overnight. Results don't happen overnight. They don't happen that way. And I'll kind of be a little arrogant about it, and I'll tell them, hey, if you want the results to happen overnight, go see a magician, because that's not what I am. And a lot of them are pretty understanding for the most part about it. You didn't get this way overnight, therefore we can't reverse it and make this overnight. This is a lifestyle change. So the patients who come into the clinic, a lot of them want to change, and I think with our staff, that we have such a knowledgeable staff, very, very friendly, they really kind of bring that to the patient. And it's really cool because you'll see patients come in there and they have no interest in physical fitness whatsoever. It doesn't matter. They were working out 5 years ago and they stopped, and they really haven't thought about it since they came to us. Well, when they come to us, we get them feeling better. We get their energy levels increased. They feel like getting up, moving around, doing stuff, and that promotes an active lifestyle. And I can't tell you, how many times people have left our clinic, joined a gym, came to me, got a program, and have helped them live healthier lifestyles from this day forward. It's really rewarding, and it's absolutely amazing that people can actually want such a different change, for their lifestyle after living, sedentary for 5, 10, years, whatever. So.
As we wrap up this segment, Shawn, let's talk briefly about the implementation of supplements in either your practice, Defined Fitness, or as a rehabilitative manager with a chiropractic firm.
Supplements are great. They really are. Supplements are one of those things that you've really got to be kind of somewhat careful about, just because there's people who thoroughly believe in supplements, and there's people who don't, believe in supplements. They believe that you can get all your nutrition from food. And, if you're having an adequate enough diet, you can, but you always want to make sure that your goal is in mind, in the back of your head. You have to make sure that whatever your goal is, that you're eating towards your goal, and you're making sure that you're getting all your macronutrients and your micronutrients through vitamins, through whole food, making sure you have a good array of proteins, vegetables, carbohydrates, fats, so on and so forth. And, it's one of those things that, let's just give an example for a bodybuilder, okay? A bodybuilder who has, let's say, maybe 10-20% body fat on his off season, and then he strips down to maybe 3 or 4% fat on his stage ready season. Their nutrient, development and intake is going to be much greater than, let's say, your marathon runner or your sprinter. Those types of guys have to eat, the way they train. So that's what I mean by keeping in mind what your goals are.
Okay.
And then your supplements, depending on how much, that you train on your body, will have to have, that much of an effect as well on what you take in.
I'm hoping that you'll come back in future segments and talk with us a bit more, Shawn.
Oh, hey, that would be great.
All right, thanks. You've been listening to Health Professional Radio. I'm your host, Neal Howard. We've been in studio this afternoon talking with Mr. Shawn Wing, a personal trainer and rehabilitative manager, combining the science of both chiropractic and personal training to come up with absolutely wonderful results from his clients and patients as well. We've been talking about how to combine the two for the best results for the patient and the client, and also how to break down some of the barriers that sometimes pop up when it comes to achieving a healthy lifestyle and or maintaining the same. It's been great having you here with us today, Shawn.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Transcripts and audio of this program are available at healthprofessionalradio.com.au and also at hpr.fm, and you can subscribe to our podcast on iTunes.